Hi everyone, it's Tasha. Welcome back to my channel. As you know, I'm always in thrift shops looking for high-end style on a budget, and today I'm going around our home and adding some light-handed fall touches as we begin to approach the season. As always, I'm going to be utilizing lots of thrift finds and also doing some DIY, so come and join me for this fall decor video. Well, hello out there. It is getting close to fall. It's still in the low 80s here in North Carolina, but something about after school starts, and especially as we approach Labor Day, it starts to feel more like fall. Now, some things that I don't appreciate in fall decor are bright oranges like you saw there, saturated yellows, any sort of word signs, things like scarecrows, hay, a sort of very over-the-top themey harvest vibe, and too many pumpkins. Those are just some of my pet peeves, so what I'm going to be focusing on instead in our home is removing spring and summer specific decor. In our case, that's mostly just blooms, adding a few fall florals, and then also adding a few more warm touches around my home. So one thing that I picked up at the thrift shops this week was I came across this set of 3 black lanterns. Now these are pretty large. They were $9.99, $8.99, and $7.99 by size there for $37 total. Now on Amazon I found these, and the medium size one is $55 and the small one is $39. I can't actually find the largest size to know how much that is, but I know that I got a great deal for the price that I paid for these. And I think that these are so pretty and will definitely add a warm touch. I plan to use these on my fireplace hearth. These are in really good shape. I'm not sure why someone got rid of them, but they also came with the candles inside, which was an added bonus. The only thing that I really need to do to these is to take my scraper and get some of the wax off that has kind of splashed or somehow gotten on the front little doors of these. These scrapers work great for cleaning things like this off of glass, and so this is a pretty easy fix. I'm just going to be using 2 of these side by side right now, the largest and the smallest, since 3 looked a little cluttered on my hearth. But I'm still glad that I picked up all 3 of them because I can also use them on my front porch. I think that having any sort of flame going automatically adds a warmth and a cozy feeling to your home, and it's perfect for fall. So for these 2 that I'm using right now, I paid $18 total, which was a killer deal. Next, I want to share with you a lamp that I picked up. This ended up being $7.99. I really like the shape of this with the cute little handles at the top and the fact that it's highly textured. However, I don't like the rope detail or the ceramic thingies that are hanging on it. And I also don't like the stark whiteness of that color. So I'm just removing the rope detail and the ceramic thingies, and I'm going in with some paint. Now these 2 cans of paint I picked up at a yard sale. They were actually on a free table and they were both full, so that was amazing. This color is called Logia. It's by Sherwin-Williams, and I'm just mixing this with a little bit of baking soda in order to do my base coat. I'm just going in with a regular paintbrush here, and you can see how even a light color is such a difference from the actual white color that it was to begin with, and it just starts to warm it up and make it look more interesting, in my opinion, right off the bat. So this is my first coat, and I'm going to let that fully dry, and then I'm going in with this burnt umber color paint. This is just a craft paint and a little dab of black to cool it off a little bit. So I'm mixing those together, and I'm going to be using a wet paper towel for this second coat and dabbing this all over, going back and forth between this new dark color and the Logia color. So I will show you what I mean. First, I'm dabbing on this darker color mixture, and I'm just patting and then kind of taking my same wet paper towel and dabbing back in the original lighter color and going over it. So if I find that it's looking too dark in an area, I'll add more of the light and vice versa. Now this is the second out of 3 layers, and as you can see, this starts to give the vase some more dimension, so I'm just taking my time and going all over the piece with this second layer. To me, I find this very cathartic and enjoyed this sort of thing. It didn't actually take that long though, maybe 30 minutes for the whole project to be complete because the paint layers did not take very long to dry. My last coat is I'm going in with some more of the burnt umber without the black, and I'm mixing it with some water to water it down. This makes the color warmer since I'm leaving out the black, I'm just dabbing this watered down color all over the vase. This is going to really give it that aged look and make it look more like an antique piece. Since this is watered down, it's a very fast layer to do. I'm also making sure to kind of double up and go darker at the edges and the creases and around the handles where more dirt and patina would naturally occur. And I think that now this lamp looks so much more interesting than it did before with the plain white and with the rope gone. I did get my hands dirty. I never remembered to wear gloves, but again, this is the before piece. I'm not sure what you would call that style. And this is the after. I think that this looks so much more modern and up to date and more interesting and almost like a McGee & Co sort of vibe. So I'm very happy with it. Now I'm going to be paying attention to the wovens, textiles, and florals all around my home just to get it a little bit more of a fall vibe. So you may have seen in my family room makeover video last week how I added this super chunky textured tray. I love this little tray. We're using it kind of as a coffee table on the end here. I also added this highly textured, really cool vase that I picked up a long time ago at a thrift shop, as well as these oat stems, which were from Hobby Lobby last season. They may have them again this season. I will try to link to them. But I think that this highly textured little pop here in the center of the room really adds a lot. Now, I mentioned that I don't like the saturated yellows and orange, but I found these stems at a thrift shop and I'm showing you what they look like before I do anything to them, but they're just too bright for my taste. So I'm going in with some more of that watered down brown paint that I showed you before. I'm going to call this like a chocolate wash because that's essentially what it is a paint wash with a dark brown paint. You can take this and go over any stems like this that are on the bright side and it will automatically just tone those down and make them look more muted, a little more trendy, and a little more of a modern organic look. And you can see the before and after here, how the stems that I have done now almost look real, like I've picked them up off the ground versus that very manufactured bright color that it was before. It's not that leaves don't ever turn that bright in nature, but a lot of them that you see are this more muted tone. So for me, this just fits the bill a little bit more and isn't such a jarring pop of color in our home that it kind of stands out too much. It just kind of goes better with the whole vibe. And you can see the lamp and the stems together there in that shot. Now you may remember, if you've been on this channel for a long time, several months ago when I got this leaf dish from a thrift shop, it ended up being only $2.99 and it is just amazing. I found a similar one, or maybe the same exact one, being sold on Cherish for $450. Now whether that price is legitimate or reasonable or not, I can't say, but I do know that for only $2.99 mine was an excellent deal, and this is just such a beautiful dish. I knew I would pull it out at the fall time, and so here it is on the table. This is a great place to drop keys or anything like that. I think that this dish is just stunning and unique, a vintage piece. I'm still going around and just making sure that I have lots of textured items out. This is from my family room makeover as well, but I'm adding this basket here which has lots of texture, a nice rich chocolate blanket which I thrifted. It's actually a restoration hardware blanket that I found for $4.99. In the kitchen, I currently have this woven tray with some dried florals and some pomegranates. Now, the dried florals are perfect for fall. I'm going to be leaving them. Pomegranates are great too, but I want to change them out and add at least one pumpkin in our home. So I'm going to be swapping that out for this glass pumpkin that I picked up at a thrift store, also for $3 a while back. Now, the glass beside the glass vase is too much, so I'm going to be swapping out the vase here for a different one and leaving the dried stems. So first I tried this large cream vase. It looks good. I did actually end up changing it to a black one, which I'll show you quickly in a minute. But anytime you have a vase like this that's a little too large, you don't want to let your florals kind of sink down too far into it. That's why I added the paper, just to make them stand up taller and look more proportionate to the vessel. Now inside of this glass pumpkin, I found this bowl filler. This whole bag full of bowl filler, which was really a unique and interesting bowl filler, was only $1.99 at the thrift store. And so I'm placing them by hand rather than dumping them in, because there's also some dried flower heads in this bowl filler, and I don't want them to get crushed, and plus I kind of want to place things and spread them out exactly how I want them. So I think that this was a nice touch. I don't do a lot of potpourris or bowl fillers, but this one caught my eye and I think it's just so beautiful. And here's a shot with the vase that I switched to, which was this black one. I think that the dried florals look really stunning with this one as well. And while I'm in this area, I just want to show you something. This is not fall related, but it's just something I found at Home Goods that I thought was really pretty. It's this linen planner book, and you can see the texture on the front there and the gold stamping. I just thought that this was really beautiful. This is available on Amazon. I found it on there as well. It does cost a little more on Amazon, but I just wanted to share it with you because I'm a planner person, and I love how this one can slide right on the countertop by my other books and not stand out, and it's very aesthetic looking. Over here in this area by my laundry room and bathroom doors, kind of at the back of the house, I've added this little stool that I picked up for $5. And what I want to do with this stool is add a vase here. Now, I plan to redo the stool at some point, but I haven't decided how yet. So I'm going to be working on that. But for now, I'm putting this vase, which I picked up for $2 at a yard sale, on it. It's so heavy. It's definitely an antique piece, which is amazing. So I don't want to change it or do anything to it. And I'm just adding some dried rushweed that actually grows in the back part of our yard. If I wait until winter, I can go out and this is already just standing straight up and dried in the yard, and I can just pull it up and save a bundle for the next season. I think that it's so pretty. And then above these two, I'm going to be stacking two little pieces of art just for a little bit of interest there. Both of these are actually from Target, and they're available at Target right now. So these are new pieces, not thrifted. I think that both of these are really pretty pieces and that they look kind of nice stacked like this. So this is my little area here with just a little bit of interest, even though this isn't a large wall, and I wouldn't do this on every single exposed wall, but just every once in a while it's a nice pop. Now, in a past Hobby Lobby order, I picked up two of these tea leaf stems. Now, I really like the shape of these and the twigginess of it and just kind of the wild rustic look, but I did not like the bright green color, and so I hadn't used them yet, but I also hadn't tossed them. So I decided to do a paint makeover on these as well. I'm using a kind of grayish color paint. It was a mist tint, so I can't tell you the exact paint from Lowe's, and I'm painting every leaf, and yes, I know that looks very time consuming. It wasn't too bad. And then I'm going over each leaf really quickly with some more of that watered down brown paint. And so what you end up with is this nice kind of almost dried or eucalyptus look. The brown gives some of them a little bit of like a mottled texture, and it just makes it look more realistic, and also a lot more fallish because this almost looks like a dried stem, and just the more muted color ends up working a lot better with the fall vibe. I think that this looks beautiful in this vintage crock that I picked up from a yard sale for only $2. This is here on my hutch in my dining area. I also picked up this bowl from a thrift shop the other day. It was only $3.99, and I fell in love with that twisted handle. It looks like it's handmade by someone. It has some stamping on it. I'm not sure of that company or person, but I just love this little bowl, this little dish, and the twisty handle really captured my heart. So I'm doing my third object here of just this tiny little pitcher. We have some large toothpicks there that we keep kind of next to the table, and I think that this little vignette looks really pretty, and I know I never would have really used those bright green stems as they were, but I think that they look beautiful over here and blend seamlessly into the fall season. In the bathroom, I'm adding two of these coffee colored woven baskets, and I love these things. I have them kind of all over the house, but they come in sets of 3, and here I've just used 2, the medium and the small size. It's perfect for extra toilet paper in the bottom one and then sprays and such in the top one. I think that that's a nice warm look as well. I also picked up this viral Hobby Lobby Moody landscape, and it does not disappoint. The frame is so pretty, the print as well, and that's right there over those baskets in the bathroom just to change things up. I also picked up this beautiful pleated linen shade for $4.99 from a thrift shop and wanted to swap it out on my lamp in here on the side table in the dining area. And this little pumpkin, as I already said, I don't have a ton of pumpkins, but this is one of the 2 that we have in our home. And I decided rather than just sitting it there, I would put in some florals. This is just some kind of ochred color, baby's breath. I think this is a nice look for fall. I'm just going to prop the pumpkin lid right beside it in a casual sort of manner, and I think that that's a little bit more interesting of a look than just sitting it by itself. I also styled this in the living room at first, so I wanted to show you those shots as well of how it looks there on the basket, and it's just a nice little touch, a little nod to fall without being too much overkill for my taste. I hope that you've enjoyed this video and seeing these light-handed fall touches that we've started to implement in our home, and that it's inspired you in some way. If you haven't yet checked out the join button below my videos, you can now sign up to become a channel member and supporter, and there are exclusive perks that go along with that. There are 2 levels, so give it a click and check it out. And in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you at the next video.